Alright, time for another Kaldheim draft. As is the case with most packs in this format, because this is a king format, we're going to be taking the rare. It is Cyclone Summoner. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hands except for giants, wizards, and lands. It's a really strong payoff for having a lot of giants and wizards, and it's just a strong card in general. There were other few good blue cards in the pack, Behold the Multiverse and some stuff like that, but we're going to take the giant, and we're going to follow it up with another giant. We're going to follow it up with the Doomscar Titan. It's about comparable in power level to the Shepherd of the Cosmos, but Doomscar Titan is a red card, which goes really well in the blue-red Giants deck, which obviously we hope to be in now. Passing up on a Crush the Weak, which is good with all the fat giants, and a Serap's Packmate, which is also a super, super strong card, but gonna be hard-pressed to pass up the Doomscar Titan. Just an awesome card. Now we've got a few options that are good. There's a Notvold Slumber Mound, which is probably the best of the uncommon lands, and I actually like taking it kind of highly. It's just so strong. There's a blue-red dual land, which is obviously really good with our first two picks, and it's snow, and that's really important because you want to get a few Bergstriders, and having snowlands in your colors is really important to make them work. So I think we're between the Volatile Fjord and the Mistwalker. Mistwalker is another giant, and it just is kind of glue in all of the decks where you want it to be good. I think I'm going to take the Fjord here, though. Having some snow dual lands is really strong, and I value them pretty highly. Mistwalker is also good, so that's definitely a close pick. All right, gonna snap up a squash here. We're already in the Giants deck, at least it appears that way, and in that deck, squash is super, super strong because it'll cost 2 mana. So we're gonna be very happy with the squash. Passing up on this Carter Doomscourge. These cards have so much text, and even the names of the cards have a lot of text. Yeah, so we'll take the squash and squeeze that right into our deck. All right. There's a Dwarven Reinforcements, a Thought Thief, a Harbinger for telling, but we're just gonna take the Axe Guard. There's also a Depart the Realm, which is decent, but I actually like Axe Guard Cavalry a lot in the Blue-Red Giants deck because giving your giants, well, Doomscar Titan already gets haste, but giving the rest of your giants haste, like your 4/4s and such, haste is really good, and it's also just a 2/2 early drop that you can play and block with. Now, not seeing anything too great. The Frost Peak Yeti is not a giant, nor is it really that good of a card. The Battlefield Raptor is good in the right deck. The Doomscar Oracle is just a decent card. Probably going to take Run Amok. If they block one of your big giants or try to double block it, it's good. It's good in aggressive decks. Honestly, right now, we're just married to red, I think, so we could be like a red-black Berserkers deck. We don't even know. These are also 2 Berserkers. So yeah, let's take Run Amok and be pretty happy about that. I like having a few Run Amoks in our deck. Alright, there's a few very strong uncommon lands. Both of these are good. The Great Hall Starnheim is great, and the Mirror Lake's a little more expensive, but also still good. We're not on taking the Yeti. I think we're on taking the Snowland here. The Haggy Mob is pretty replaceable. Run Ashore I found to be close to unplayable. And this is a semi-on-color Snowland. And again, I think we want that in case we get some Bergstriders. It's just going to be good that way. There's a Rune of Speed, which I don't think is all that good. There's another Run Amok, a Pilfering Hawk. We're just going to take the Firewalker. The Firewalker's a solid 3-drop, even though it's not a giant. Again, we don't have to be giants. We could end up being Berserkers. And even, it's not like you have to play all giants in your giants decks. The Mirror Lake we're pretty far away from playing unless we somehow are red, green, splashing blue, but that doesn't even look to be the case. So we're really between the Harbinger, which just gives us instant sorceries or foretells. or the Horizon Seeker if we end up being green. I think I'm going to take Horizon Seeker. Doesn't look like that heavy of a foretell deck, and if we're green, Horizon Seeker is really good. Gonna take the Cinderheart Giant here. It's not great. We not even sure we want to play it. Raven form is kind of poop, and we could play the Giant if we get some of the 2-drop that can allow us to cast our Giants for cheaper. Because playing an early Cinderheart Giant is a big game. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're really, I think it's probably a Berserker as well. So we're really only married to red. We got a few dual lands, which I kind of like. Some Jeskai dual lands. And the Cyclone Summoner is obviously a good reason to want to be blue, but it's not enough that if there's a busted card in another color, we won't take it. Now we're just going to take the mob. We got a lot of thick cards here. There's nothing else we'd even really want, and might as well tell our opponents that red is not open at all. All right, winding down the pack here. So, yeah, really, this is a good position to be in because we've got a lot of powerful red cards and one powerful blue card. But if we just open a super powerful card that's like red, black, like if we open the red, black rare, probably just going to take that because we have a lot of Berserkers too. And it would be really good in the deck. So this is sort of where you want to be after one pack. Let's see what we open here. I guess one of the people in the draft is taking a little bit of time, but there we go. Okay, there's not much left here. Raven Wings has some applications if you got a lot of big fatties, so I think I'll take that. It's a little bit better than Dogged Pursuit, although there's a non-zero chance that we would have played a Dogged Pursuit. Not in love with playing Raven Wings. I think Raven Wings is a little bit better in Sealed. Let us see what is coming next. All right. Yeah, and again, we have these 2 snow lands, which can do some things. All right, this is probably the worst of the lands. You get to search your library for an aura and an equipment and put them in your hand. I guess that's probably the most likely card that we're looking to play. Doomscar Oracle for the sideboard. And Invoke the Divine for the sideboard. We'll put this in the sideboard too. White seemed a little bit open there. Obviously, because we got some white cards at the end. Okay, what do we have here? So, there's a Faceless Haven, which if you have Snow, 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 then it can become a 4/3. Right now we have 2 snow lands. I don't think the Faceless Haven's that good, although it's not bad, obviously. There's a Snow-Covered Mountain. There's also just the Faceless Liberator, which is a really good card. If you play it on turn 2, usually you're gonna get 1/2/1 for 3 mana, so that's pretty good. We do have the green card in the sideboard for the Slays the Troll, but these are close to similar in power level, so I'd rather just take the Liberator and still be married to red. Yeah, there's nothing else that's really pulling us away. And it's the Maja is probably the best card in the pack, but we're very far away from casting that. So we'll take Faceless Liberator. And where are we at now? Glimpse the Cosmos is really, really strong. There is a Slumber Mound if we wanted to dip our way back into green, but Glimpse and Slumber Mound are of similar power level. This is the mini Dig Through Time, and we've got a decent amount of Giants to turn it on, and now we can try to pick up a few more. So I'm going to take Glimpse the Cosmos here. And follow it up with just another Squash. I think it's better than Saw It Coming. It's another Packmate. Someone's going to get hooked up with a few Packmates, but thankfully this is a draft league, so we don't have to face them. And Squash is just decent removal. Maybe we can pick up a few of the cheaper Giants, because that pairs a little bit better with Squash. Saw It Coming is good, but not as good as Squash. And then there's nothing else we would want. A semi on color tap land is not going to be as good as a Squash. And yeah, again, we're still really only married to red because we keep taking good red cards. I think that our fellow draft mates might not know that red is the best color in this set. Yeah, card like Doomscar Titan is really, really just a strong card. Yeah, so obviously this incentivizes us to want Giants. The The 1/4 shapeshifter bird might have been a good pick here, but it's hard to say. All right, Haunting Voyage is not enough of a reason to want to just abandon our good 2 blue cards to go into black. It's good, but it's not incredible or anything. Just gonna take the tapped Evolving Wilds here. Usually you can just it's a snow land, and again we don't have any reasons to be snow right now, but we're gonna want to pick up some Bergstriders, and then we'll want to be snow. Bergstriders will be great in this deck, definitely better than the mob. And we're not really passing up on much. I mean, it's a mythic, but it's not even a good mythic, so we'll take that. All right, Raven's Warning. We do have a a land, and now the Veil, so that is a consideration. Although I don't know how strong of a consideration. There's a Gates of Istfell also if we wanted to splash, do the full splash. Just creates a 1/1 bird. You gain 2 life, and then whenever a bird deals combat damage. So yeah, this card's like a solid like B- or C+, something around there. I don't think it's enough of a reason to want to go into to splash white. So I think I'm just going to take Raider's Carve. The Carve is good, and I like having 1, maybe 2 in my deck, but probably just 1. And a lot of 3 drops or 3 power creatures to crew it. So we'll take the Carve. Now, just going to take the Kinseeker. It is, it's pretty good. There's the Colossal Plow, but we don't have any of the Ox to crew it. This is secretly just a mono white card. Not really, but you want to be white. It gives you white mana, and also the Ox is the best way to crew it. Otherwise, it's really hard to crew. The Kinseekers is good with Squash, and good with Glimpse of the Cosmos, so it's good enough to make our deck. It'll squeak in there and add a 4-drop slot. Yeah. Okay. What do we have here? There's a Raven Form and a Null. Again, Raven Form is pretty bad. Dual Strike is also pretty bad. Probably just, I guess the Snowland isn't even either of our colors. So maybe just take a Raven Form for the sideboard, probably. Don't really like the Vault Robber. And a Null is not the best. I kind of like Disdainful Stroke more. So we'll take a Raven Form for the sideboard. And now I think we're just on Rune of Speed. How much Foretell do we have? Not really all that much. Zombie Wizard. So I guess we'll take a Rune of Speed. Not really sure about playing that. I guess it's kind of good with Raven Wings. Really falling short on the rest of these packs here. We could take a Master Scald, which, if we wanted to splash white and get back enchantments, we don't have any enchantments. I think we're more likely to play the green splash of Arnie. Okay, where are we at here? So we took Arnie Slays the Troll. Unlikely to splash green. Well, that is a reason to want to play green. All right, we're gonna take the Slumber Mound here. Who knows where we're at now? We got the Horizon. We have the Arnie and the Horizon Seeker. Kind of seems like green could have been open there, and we don't really have that many good blue cards. So, who's to say? We'll just take a Mists of Litiara here. Snow-covered swamp. We're pretty far away from black, so I guess we'll just take Grizzled Outrider. Could be in our green. So we got 3 green cards. I mean, but right now our blue is still stronger, so we'd have to really want to be pulled into green. I guess Snakeskin Veil is a little bit better. The Recluse. Yeah, green was definitely open from this side. I think we're off green for now, but you never know. Even the Slumber Mound costs double green to activate, so. Like, the Cyclone Summoner is just really, really good in a deck like this. And Glimpse of the Cosmos is also great, so I think we're still likely to be blue. But again, if we open a super busted green rare, like the vehicle for 4 mana, probably just going to take it. Why not? And we can just slide into green. So we'll have to see where we end up. Dual Strike. All right, last big Dual Strike is about where that needs to be. Just a lot of setup cost, so we'll take that. Ooh, all right, I like all the stuff going on here. There's Magda Brazen Outlaw, which kind of ramps you, and then that's really all it does. It's like a 2/1 that will create a treasure when it dies, ramps you. There's also Invasion of the Giants, which really is the card that we want, and a Bergstrider. I think I'm going to start out with the 2-drop, though. It's just really good to have 2-drops, and the treasure is really good in our deck. We can play like an early one of these fatties, and hopefully we can wield the Invasion of the Giants. If someone's blue-red, that's unfortunate. But if no one's blue-red, no one's going to take Invasion of the Giants. It's just obviously not a good card on the splash or anything. And if not, maybe we'll wheel a Bergstrider. I don't know. Gonna take Magda. And I think that's probably the right pick. What is it, a Berserker? Yeah. We didn't get any of the Berserker payoffs, but we end up having a ton of Berserkers in our deck. To the point where it's the Glimpse. I mean, the Glimpse is still good. We've got right now. How many Giants do we have? We have the Kinseeker, the Doomscar, and then these two. Although if you're casting Cyclone Summoner, Glimpse gets a little bit worse. I don't think any of these are Giants. Yeah, the less cheap creatures tend not to be Giants. Okay, and I think now's the time we take the Bergstrider. Righteous Valkyrie is a house, although we're not really in like an Angel life gain kind of deck, so it gets a little bit worse. I also like Clarion Spirit a lot, but I think we're on the Bergstrider here. It's another giant, and it's the reason that we have these snow lands, so there we go with the Bergstrider. There's also a Firewalker perhaps we could wheel, so let's be on the lookout for that. Gonna take the land now. This land has a lot of useful application. It costs 6 mana to activate, 5, and you tap it, but it can deal 2 damage to each creature, and you get to scry 2. And yeah, we're not really light on playables, so, and we could wheel like we're not passing up on anything really either, so just gonna take the Frostpire. Ooh, I like Crush the Weak, but this is the deck that wants Craven Hulk, especially with 2 squashes and a Glimpse. Definitely gonna take the Giant Coward. Yeah, and we'd like to wheel Crush the Weak. And we have a few creatures it kills, but it also kill all of our opponent's early cheap plays. So, all right. There's a Finn the Fangbearer, and then a few decent 3-drops. Would probably play a Thought Thief in this deck. How much do we care about another tap Snowland just for our Bergstrider? Right now we have 3 of them. That's probably not good enough. Probably just going to take the Thought Thief here. Oh, Invasion of the Giants. All right, I have to take the Invasion of the Giants here. It's super, super good in our deck. We're passing up on a Saw It Coming or some other stuff, but Invasion is awesome in our deck. If we can wheel the other one too, then we've got a lot of ways to cast our cheap, expensive, our expensive cards cheaper. Yeah, so Invasion and get right in there. Wow, if we could wheel the other Invasion, that would be sweet. I really like the way this deck has come together. So yeah, never really saw a reason to go into green or anything like that. Let's see what happens. Rune of Speed. Do we want to play the Rune of Speed in our deck? It's good if you can put it on the Raven Wings. To give something flying and haste is obviously a big game. We've got some good 2-drops here. Like Fearless Liberator, Invasion of the Giants, and the Magda are all great on turn 2. I'm fine with playing 1-tap land. The Bergstrider doesn't need to tap something. A 4/4 for 5 is, I mean, below curve, but still playable. We're playing a 4/4 for 4. And if you're tapping something, you know, like 30 or 4, probably like 40% of the time, that's decent. What do we feel about the Cinder? If we wheel the other Invasion of the Giants, the Cinderheart Giant is definitely getting in there. If not, maybe. Ooh, another Craven Hulk? Alright, that's getting right in there. Passing up on nothing. Maybe a Run Amok, but wouldn't even necessarily play that. We'll definitely play Craven Hulk. It's just a beater, a 4/4 for 4. Can't block alone. It's not even like it can't block. It just can't block alone, because it's a Giant Coward. And I really like the way this deck is going. The creme de la creme, the perfect thing would be to wheel the other Invasion of the Giants. But we don't want to get too greedy. And we have the Glimpse of the Cosmos, which has now become just an all-star in our deck with a bunch of Giants. Although it is the case that the Giants are all expensive. The 1/4 flyer would have been good. We took the Fjord, so it's not like totally. I mean, the Fjord will be good in our deck, just for the Bergstrider. Disdainful Stroke or just a Snow-Covered Mountain. We'll take the Snow-Covered Mountain. Because we're basically good on playables. Oh wow, the Invasion of the Giants wheel. That is incredible. All right. Definitely gonna play the expensive Giants now with two Invasion of the Giants and we might wheel like the 5/6 tap giant. That would be awesome. So I really like the way this has turned out. Let's move these over to two drop shot slots. And yeah, the Thought Thief was just a good way to get from our cheap cards to our expensive cards. I think we'll take another one actually. Um, Maybe it's the case that we don't want to play it. This is definitely a 23 land or 23 land, a 17 land deck. Not gonna play a null, smashing success. I think we probably just want the Thought Thief. We want to, or I guess we'll take a null now for the sideboard if our opponent has some really good sagas. That seems good. Another thought. Ooh, a Crush the Weak. I like Crush the Weak. Not gonna play Fearless Pup. Are we gonna get our 5/6 giant back? No, but we do get a Hagi Mob. All right, we'll see about playing two of those and the Harbinger. All right. We'll have a few decisions to make in deck building. I like one Crush the Weak. We don't have that many cheap cards. Oh, Rune of Speed can get out of there. It's just not gonna be that good. All right, so if we get out Rune of Speed, I like the Raven Wings, I like the Carve, I like the two Thought Thieves. So we need one more cut. Might just be the Hagi Mob. What does that look like? It's not even a giant, yeah. And we get something that looks like this. How many tap lands do we have? I don't necessarily know if we want to play the equity of because we did get the snow-covered mountain. Yeah, I think we're gonna cut the tap land just for one Bergstrider. Does not seem worth it. If we'd gotten like two Bergstriders, I think it would be worth it. Definitely gonna do this. Okay, so we've got three tap lands. Yeah, playing the fourth tap land doesn't seem worth it. A little more red than blue. So if we can do one more red source and blue sources, that's probably good. So let's add lands. Right now it's 5, 6. So I think we want like this. 6, 7, 8 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red. That seems like about where we want to be. All right. This deck seems awesome. Very excited to play with it. A double Invasion of the Giants blue-red Giants deck. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you for round 1. All right, round 1. Ugh, this hand's not great. It's got two very expensive cards. Our opponent mulliganed, and we have a lot of cheap cards that we can draw, so I think it's a keep. Not exactly sure that's right, but we have two Invasion of the Giants, Magda, Fearless Liberator, Axgar Cavalry, Glimpse we can draw, and then yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that we can draw, so I don't hate the keep. All right, we're gonna probably get a blue with this. Ooh, another land is not great. Fortunately, Cyclone Summoner is a card that can catch us up if we can make it there. Card we want to draw is Invasion of the Giants. That would be great for us. If not, we can turn to Suspend. Keep saying Suspend. Foretell. All right, another land, also not what we want. So let's foretell this. Pass the turn. We also have, yeah, I guess Glimpse is probably what we want to do. Or Invasion. I mean, things aren't looking good. Our opponent has a card Foretold. They've got 3 colors. They're going to pass the turn. All right. Each turn our opponent does nothing is pretty good for us. And another land, not where we want to be. So, I mean, the good thing is the more lands we draw, the less chance we have of drawing another one. Though, I don't know if that'll always be the case. A 2/4, that's fine. It's not really going to swing in for that much. There's a Fearless Liberator. I mean, we'll just play it. Prevents our opponent from attacking unless they have a blocker as well. Doesn't really do much otherwise, but, you know, you get what you can get. Our opponent also seems to have not much going on. Another land, alright. Guess we just play the Doomscar and attack for 4. Maybe they have removal spell. Probably fine with that. Paves the way for our Cyclone Summoner to not die. This seems like they probably just have the counter spell, I guess. I don't know why else they'd be pausing this long. The one in a blue, counter spell. They can cast for, you foretell for 2, and then you cast for 1 in a blue, or you can just cast for 1 and 2 blue. Yeah. So looks like this is gonna get countered, and I can in fact say that I saw that coming. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, the Cyclone Summoner doesn't actually bounce the Litiara Kin Seekers. All right. Our opponent is on a decent amount of lands as well. This is a 4-drop. Seems like some sort of X spell. I don't know what's going on here. Bloodline Pretender. Okay, so they have to name. That's another shapeshifter. Oof. Not not great for us. Again, Cyclone Summoner is not going to bounce those. What are they going to name? That's the question. And even whatever we bounce, they can probably replay. They have 2 cards in hand. We've got 5. But really, we just have 1 and some lands. So yeah, I mean, we have removal spells we can draw. We've got Invasion of the Giants, which will set up the rest of our turns. And that's about it. So our opponent named God. They have a God in hand. Okay. Oh, that's actually a great draw. Believe it or not. Unfortunately, we don't have enough mana to where we can attack and create a 2/1, but perhaps next turn. Does our opponent have a removal spell now? Let's find out. Appears they don't. Okay. And we'll pass the turn. Our opponent gets to swing in for what I assume is 5 damage, because they wouldn't name God unless they have a God in hand. So, what God? I guess they don't have a God. All right. So they swing in for 4, and now are they gonna play their God? A 3 mana. Oh, there's their God. Oh, no, that's not a God actually. Sorry. All right. We draw another land. I think we just run out the Cyclone. Well, want to attack first. Let's not get too hasty. Because we don't really want them tutoring. And this can put them. It'll put them on a 2-turn clock, I guess. So we bounce the Vargoth. It'll bounce all of our stuff as well. And next turn, we'll play Raven Wings, equip, and then attack for 8. So we put our opponent on a 2-turn clock. They can play this turn. We'll attack. Then they attack next turn, put a card on top, and we can attack before they can get the card. So we are going to win this race. They won't be able to get a card to deal with the Cyclone Summoner. So hopefully they just keep drawing lands. They draw a removal spell. That's really bad. Oof. Okay. That's quite bad for us. Because, yeah, so now they get to attack for 4. Oh, just 2. I mean, they should remember that we have Raven Wings. They can play their Vargoth now. Hopefully we draw a removal spell. We did not. Okay, so let's do that. Let's equip. And we'll make a 2/2. Really don't like where this is going. Yeah. So now we go to 11, and our Pyre it deals 2 damage to each creature, which is just quite bad for us. So they get to boast. And then yeah, put some sort of good spell on top of their library. So we're not in a good position here. They get to attack for 4, down to 10. And yeah, and then they're gonna activate the boast. Alright, they have 2 cards in hand. Hopefully they're both lands. Divine Gambit. Ooh. Yeah, I mean we had them in a potential winning spot if they didn't have the exile spell. There's only a few ways to deal with big creatures at a blue-white. Right, even the 1-mana tap it would have dealt them 7. So, alright, so now, oh, they bind this. Okay, I don't actually hate that. They take 3, and we can just re-equip. And they're gonna play a god now? What do they have? They can attack for 6 next turn. They're still not on a 2-turn clock. They play a 2-drop. We can always just crack this. Blue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think our opponent has done everything here perfectly, but so they are going to search for a card. All right. It's probably not great news for us. They didn't even attack with the Bloodline Predator. Weird. Okay. So they're searching for a card. I wonder if a sweet draw would be our 3/2. We have 2 of them, so two draws at the 3/2 in our deck, which would allow us to put whatever card they tutored into their graveyard. That would be sweet. I'm not gonna lie. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lands. So we've only got 6 lands left in our deck. 25 cards. So decent chance that we don't draw a land. Our opponent is taking a lot of time to consider. Maybe their deck is full of bad cards and they just have to put a bad card on top. That would be pretty nice. But I assume that they're just going to get a removal spell. They're in an advantageous enough position that a removal spell should seal it up. Alright, they figured out what card they want. Probably want to close that. Sorry about that. And they still have a 2-mana play? Interesting. And they play this. They could have just played the sword to make an angel. Okay, we draw a Craven Hulk. So we can equip like that. And then attack for 3. And play our Craven Hulk. And might as well just equip now. And yeah, so we can draw. They probably just got a removal spell, so I don't love our chances. But if they didn't get a removal spell, if they just got a big creature, maybe they play their beefy creature. This gives vigilance as well, right? 2, 1, so 6, 8. Not dealing lethal. So our hope is that they just got a big creature. They play the creature, they equip, and then we rip a removal spell. What? What is going on? Our opponent just conceded the game. I'm so confused. Do they think this does damage or something? I have no idea what just occurred. Our opponent was scared of the giant coward. What was the card that they got on top of the... am I missing something here? I don't really know what occurred. We would have drawn a Kinseeker. Okay, I will take a victory there, especially with the... sometimes your deck is just going to flood out. That's what happens. Do we see anything we want to sideboard? We have an annul. We don't really see any super good artifact. We saw the artifact equipment, but I don't know how much that card matters. I think I'm just gonna resubmit. And we'll see what happens now. Alright, so we're gonna be on the draw again. We really want to see hands with Invasion of the Giants. Just having a 2-drop that can smooth out our draws seems like, and then play, basically most of our deck is Giants for cheaper, seems like something that we want to be doing. I wonder if our opponent said anything. They did not. Okay, this hand does not have an invasion, but it is a good keepable hand. Certainly, it's way better than our last hand. That was a sketchy keep to begin with, and our draws did not line up. So drawing lands now is fine. We've got enough action. So turn 2, just gonna play the Axguard Cavalry. Turn 3, we can glimpse. Yeah, and go from there. So our opponent is probably going to foretell something. Just the the chances of something happening on 2 mana being foretell are pretty high. Another land. All right. And gonna pass the turn here. Yeah, so next turn if we draw nothing, we'll just glimpse the Cosmos. If we draw something, perhaps we'll play that something. And then, assuming that we don't draw anything, our curve is gonna look something like Glimpse, and then Craven Hulk, and then Kinseekers plus Glimpse. Although, you know, we really don't want to play the Kinseekers until we have two. Okay, so they're gonna pass the turn. If they're stuck on lands, I do like that. Of course, we draw another land. We seem to be really good at drawing lands. So we'll attack for 2. There's no, like, mana leak or anything, so might as well just glimpse before. And we reveal. I wonder if they play Saw It Coming. Okay, so we have a Liberator, Doomscar, or a land. We'll just take the Doomscar. Seems like Doomscar would be good here. It's a little too late for our Liberator friend. Yeah, so what do we have here? Unfortunately, things don't line up perfectly like we'd want them to. Our opponent is going to play a 3-drop. Wonder if it's the Tutor card. If it is, I think that we're just going to attack with our 4-drop anyways. They can play Tutor to get the best card on top of their library. Right. And yeah, so sure. So they play the Tutor card. We're going to do this, play the Craven Hulk, and just attack. We'll get it in there. If they want to tutor, I mean, what they might end up doing is tutoring for a land. It's hard to say. Yeah, so they actually just want to block. That's fine. That is A-okay. It does make our glimpse take a little bit longer, and we're fine with that trade. You know, a 2/3 Death Touch is going to trade with something. All right, now we've got a few considerations. Let's see what we draw. We draw a Crush the Weak. Huh. So we can play the Lityara Kinseekers and then play Glimpse and attack for 2. Yeah, that's probably our best play. Nothing else seems too good. Can't do anything with the Doomscar Titan. Next turn we can play the Doomscar Titan. So might as well do it like this. Just a 2/4, unfortunately. Was trying to maybe eke out a little bit of extra value, but sometimes you don't want to get too greedy. There's a chance we should have sided out Crush the Weak. That's possible. So let's Glimpse. And oh, I think we just want the Cyclone Summoner here. Yeah, I mean, Squash and Raven Wings are good, but Cyclone Summoner is thick. And we put 2 spells on the bottom of our library, which means we're a little bit more likely to draw land, I guess. All right, so attack for 2, and the summoner's not going to send back our Kinseeker, but it will send back our Axeguard Cavalry. But perhaps it'll trade now. So our opponent has 4 mana and they have all their colors. God. This is a god. Okay. This is actually... Oh, they're going to attack? I like that. We're just going to slam a Doomscar Titan now. They can trade with one of our duders. The tap land's not great. I still think we just cast the Doomscar. It means maybe we're not able to cast the Cyclone Summoner, but I feel like that's the risk we have to take. If they want to trade, that's fine. Maybe they have a return spell or something. I don't know. Yeah, so they can trade for our 3/2. Again, I think I'm okay with that trade. They take 8 down to 6, or down to 8, and we've still got the Cyclone Summoner in hand. Crush the Weak plus Surtland Frostpire can deal, 4 damage to each creature, which would kill all of our creatures, but the cost of greatness, perhaps. Okay, our opponent's gonna trade. Maybe they have a 1 mana minus spell. The playing Redain is not always the greatest because the other side is a lot better, the Valkmira. Not saying our opponent made a mistake. Seems like that's kind of what they were priced into doing, but nonetheless, it's not the best for them. So other dwarves you get. None of these are dwarf. Well, I guess the shapeshifter actually is a dwarf. So that will get +1/+0. And we'll get a treasure. Okay, so... Yeah, no. I still think playing the Doomscar was right there. They're going to take 4. Okay. They can't attack now. Alright. And so we get to play our Magda, which gives it +1/+0. So now we can attack. We get a treasure. And they could chump it. They could not chump it. I don't know what's best for them. Then we get to play a tap land, play our 3-drop. Do we suspend the Crush for a week? Huh. I don't anticipate us casting Crush the week, so probably not. Is there any reason that we'd want to suspend it? I can't think of any. So our opponent is considering whether to block now. I mean, they could kill our Magda and then just bounce. Those would bounce off of each other. So that's obviously a consideration. They're just going to take the 3 down to 1. Okay. Maybe we just look at the top card of their library. It's probably better. Lityara Kinseeker. So we're not going to put that in the graveyard. They draw that, they play it, and then they're dead. So we'll do that and pass the turn. Right, so they could play the Kinseeker, and then we just attack them for lethal. So I don't know what they suspended, and we'll never know because they conceded the game. All right, thank you all for watching. That was round 1. I'll see you for round 2. Round 2 on the play here, and we have a pretty good hand, so we'll keep it. This hand really needs the Invasion of the Giants, because otherwise the Cinderheart Giant is kind of hard to cast. Looking at a turn 2 Axeguard, turn 3 Raven Wings, and then turn 4 a hasted up Craven Hulk. So not the worst start, depending on what our opponent does. Jaspera Sentinel, is this a 5-color deck? Ooh, I like the Raiders Carve actually a lot. It's kind of a nombo with the Axeguard Cavalry, but alright, Foretell. So we do need to draw a land here. Draw Magda. Huh. Yeah, I still think well, I guess it's just better to attack first. So we'll attack for 2. And next turn, there's a chance we just play Magda if we don't draw a land. Because we really want to hit our land drops, and the Carve obviously can do that, or can ramp you. Our opponent's going to play a 3-drop. Let's see what it is. It is a Replication Ring. Alright, our opponent's doing some 5-color nonsense. So they're going to have some very powerful cards. They have access to all the colors of the rainbow. So we'll have to see what they're up to. Ooh, they have a struggle for Skemfar. Alright, so now we definitely want to draw a land. Land is good, because now we can play the Craven Hulk and crew it and attack. Hopefully we can hit another land. We don't. Oh, the mob is not great. Next turn we're gonna play Magda. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. Magda and the Raiders Carve's kind of a combo. We'll get to see that in action next turn. So our opponent puts a counter on the Replication Ring. Now they play a Grizzled. All right. Don't like how this is going. So we get to play. Well, maybe we just want to get on the beatdown plan. I kind of like this. We're going to do that. Attack for 5. If our opponent throws too many resources at attacking us, right? Like we have lethal on board now. That is saying we draw a land, but nonetheless, maybe it dissuades our opponent from attacking with the Grizzled Outrider. And they're on a 2-turn clock now. They can do a 7 this turn, go down to 11. They have to put another creature on the board, and we do have the Magda, so I don't think our spot is terrible here. Obviously, there's a lot of just powerful cards they can play. Like the Immersturm Raider, yeah, that'll do it. They can sack one of their They should just attack with both their creatures. The Immersturm Raider is just they attack with nothing. I like that. Okay, so we draw. Huh. What's our play here? So I think our opponent's gonna end up sacking their Jaspera Sentinel to block our Craven Hulk. So we can't allow that to happen. We got the Fearless Liberator and the Raiders Carve. So we could attack with the Carve. That forces them to... We can't... I guess we're just on... Play this. Play the Magda. And then play Fearless Liberator and pass the turn. Our opponent, I don't think, can attack just yet. We can't really attack here. They just sacrifice a creature. And what are they going to do now? Oh, that's a pretty good combo. They can get the 1/1 counter anyways, yeah. And they have a 2 mana play. Okay, alright. That's not great. Can they start attack? I don't think they can start attacking with the Immersturm Raider. It depends on what they have. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have too much in the way of action. Path to the World Tree. Alright, that's kind of scary. They're going to be able to activate that next turn. They get a Snow-Covered Plains. Hopefully they're out of action. It appears not. Glittering Frost. Alright, they're going to be able to do a lot of things. We lose... So, you gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, they get a 2/2. Alright. I don't think they can attack here. We do get to do this. Create 2 treasures. Crew. And pass the turn. Squash. Alright. Squash is good. We do have a giant as well. So, what we can do is... What do we do here? Deal 6 damage. So we could kill the Grizzled... we really want to kill the Immersturm Predator. So we can crew the Carve. Kill that. They give it indestructible in response. We can also just play our Cinderheart Giant, which is just a big beefy creature. What does the Cinderheart Giant do? There's a lot of interesting plays here. There's also, when you get 5, so search your library for an artifact or dragon card. Put that on the battlefield. Do we have any dragon cards? Cyclone Summoner is not a dragon, unfortunately. Cyclone Summoner would be sweet. Okay. Yeah, Cyclone Summoner, unfortunately not a dragon. Search your library for an artifact under a dragon card, put it on the battlefield. Okay. So, again, we can play the Cinderheart. We can re-equip this to the Fearless. They don't even have to sacrifice a creature, though, to give it +1/+0, so that wouldn't give it indestructible, but it would give it 5 power. So it does get tapped, so I think our play is going to involve just playing the Cinderheart Giant, and then next turn equipping and squashing to get in for a big attack. So let's crew. Let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's start just crewing here. Okay, so that gives us a treasure. We're not attacking, right? Yeah, because they can just give it +1/+0. And let's play our Cinderheart Giant. And then pass the turn. They get to Path to the World Trios, killing our Magda. Yep, so they get to get a... They don't have to actually exile to get the 1/1 counter. So now they're going to activate the Path. Hopefully they draw something that makes them not want to activate the Path. But I don't think that's going to be the case. 4, 5, 6. How much does this cost? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. So they're going to kill that. We'll crew. This is for other when a dwarf becomes tapped. So this is not a dwarf. This is not a dwarf. So I guess we'll tap these two. Create a treasure. Okay. They're going to draw a couple cards. I don't think they're going to be able to play them, though. The problem is that the 2 life gain actually hurts a lot. And the 2/2. Okay. And... maybe they attack with the Immersturm Raider. I don't see it happening. They have another play. Avalanche Caller. Oh, wow. That's going to be very strong as well. So right now, we can only attack for 8. Okay, let's see. Hopefully our opponent attacks with the Raider. They don't. Glimpse the Cosmos. Okay, so we can attach the Raven Wings. And they give it indestructible and 6 power. And then we just get to kill a random one of their creatures. That doesn't seem all that good. So let's start by glimpsing, I think. Okay, so what do we have here? Crush the Weak. Or a couple Thought Thieves. What does Crush the Weak do? Not much. Their creatures are all at a high power level. The Thought Thieves are also not too great. We can't even take a land. I probably would have just taken a land here. We're on the lookout for our Cyclone Summoner. I think Crush the Weak is just going to be too bad here, so we want to take the Thought Thief. Are we just casting Glimpse again, or just re-equipping? If we equip, this is kind of tough here. We can cast Glimpse and then re-equip, but then we're using the treasure down to 4 mana. I think we want to do that. Let's cast Glimpse again. Alright, so we end up just getting a land. I guess we'll get the island. We don't have a snow land for our Berg Strider, so I guess Snow Mountain's technically better. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get the land, put these on the bottom, play the land, and re-equip. Okay, and now we're gonna pass the turn. Sure, our opponent gets to give it a 1/1 counter, exiling our thing. When are they gonna start attacking? That's the question. Hopefully they have nothing in hand. If they don't have anything in hand, it's gonna be... Ooh, what is that? That deals 2 damage to each creature. Alright, they get to scry 2. They're gonna start sending some avalanches at us. We do have the Cinderheart Giant. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can't actually cast the Cyclone Summoner yet. But obviously that's a live draw. I think it returns all their creatures, right? Dragon, bear, and wizard. I guess it doesn't return the Avalanche Caller. But we get to... It returns the Mists of Litiara. Yes, it's all permanents. So it returns the Carve even. Oh, and the Raven Wings, unfortunately. Okay. Our opponent is trying to line up some attacks. This is a very, very complicated game. These 5-color decks have a lot of power, and also Immersturm Raider is just busted super good. We don't really have any non-damage based removal in our deck, so it's kind of hard to deal with it. Um, and even now, it's out of the range of the squash, so we can't even do our play of dealing damage to it to tap it, right? Because it can just, well, I guess this is the one more turn because it's whenever it becomes tapped, it gets +1/+1. So they can tap it, give it a 1/1 counter. They wouldn't even have to sacrifice a creature, but we could get through for the damage. I just don't know how we don't even have any more reach in our deck to. We do have 2 Invasion of the Giants, which deal 2, so 8 and 2 would be not enough. I mean, Haggy Mob could deal 1 more. We're just trying to figure stuff out there. Is our opponent saying anything? No, I think they're just thinking, like, what happens if we just activate a bunch of these snow things and attack? Are they dead? I think it wouldn't be enough to kill us. We could probably make some decent enough blocks, I think, so they can they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. It's 1, 2, and that's 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 1. So they can make 3 4/4 attackers. In addition to all of these attackers. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, it's not exactly enough. It's close because we can block these 3. 14 because the thing gets tapped. So they are very close. Which means next turn we have to squash the Avalanche Caller. So there's that. Huh. So like squash and play the Thought Thief, I guess, is our play next turn. I kind of would like to get the Haggy Mob down just to get that 1 extra point in. We'll have to see. Our opponent is still considering the options. Right, so what I'm talking about with our blocks is, so these cost 2 to activate, and then they need 1 land to attack. So like 1, 2, attack, 1, 2, attack, 1, 2, attack. So it's 3 attackers, 4 power each. In addition to their 5 creatures. Yeah, so they decide not to attack. Or perhaps they'll attack with their Immersturm Raider. I think that would give us some outs. But I don't know. I keep saying Raider. The Immersturm Predator. Okay. Alright. We draw. Oh, Invasion of the Giants. Okay. Now we're... but we don't even actually have a giant. What's our play here? What is our play? We have to kill the Avalanche Caller. Otherwise, we're just dead. Yeah, so I think we're on... are we just squashing the Avalanche Caller and then playing Invasion of the Giants? I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah, I guess. All right, let's scry first just to see what we have set up. Okay, there's the Cyclone Summoner. So bottom, top. Okay, now squash the Avalanche Caller. Do they have something? They're just gonna... Okay, they're just gonna create some... We're not attacking, so this is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the cost reduction. All right, and pass the turn. They're gonna give another 1/1 counter to their Predator. Okay, they're getting a thick Predator here. Replication Ring also getting close to them having infinite mana, essentially infinite. All right. Oh, the Mirror Lake. This is legendary. Yes. No. Not even legendary. Oh man. All right. So we get to reveal the. Do we even want to reveal the Cyclone Summoner? Probably. So we get to reveal Summoner, play the Haggy Mob. I mean, what? They're attacking with their 5/5 Grizzled Outrider. Okay. Then they want to deal 2 damage to each creature. Huh. Yes, they're play and scry 2. So what do we do in this case? I think we're blocking with the Carve and the Craven Hulk. Because I think we want the Cinderheart Giant to stay alive. If we just block like this, they deal 2 damage. They're killing this and the thing. Otherwise, they're not. So let's just do this. Let's block like our crew like that. And then double block. Okay. All right. So that down. And they're just going to pass the turn. This is, yeah, only sorcery. Okay, so now we reveal the Cyclone Summoner. I think things are gonna work out here. What does our opponent have? Something? Reveal that, and it'll mean that they know what's happening, so they can attack with their Immersturm Raider. But they can't even create a copy of it because it'll just get returned. So yeah, I think they're in a position where they have to draw something. Still gonna play the Haggy Mob because I want to just have some blockers on the board for when we play the Summoner. Yeah, definitely had to get the Avalanche Caller off the board. That was imperative. And then the Raven Wings will return, so we'll have a 7-power attacker. So we'll reveal Cyclone Summoner. They're gonna take a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we play the Haggy Mob. And we pass the turn. Now they get another thing. What do they do here? The play is on them, because next turn we're gonna cast a Cyclone Summoner. Return all permanents to their owner's hands, except for giants. It's close to returning the invasion of the giants. It returns their replicating ring, even and the glittering frost. All right. Yeah. So our opponent can attack, deal us 8. I think they forgot to give it a 1/1 counter, which I like. So our opponent can attack, deal us 8, and then like make a copy of this, and then we just return everything. They will get their Mists of Lit Yara back, which they can put on the the Cinderheart Giant. What do they have? Okay, Priest is just gonna get returned. Sure. So I like our position. They even lose their bear forever. Forever. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cast our Cyclone. Oh no. We forgot to tap our treasure. Unfortunate. Attack with these 2. They can do -3. Bring us to 8. They go to 1. Okay. So our opponent's gonna go to 1. We have Raven Wings next turn. Let's see if they can get out of this. Yeah, so we talked about sacrificing the treasure and then forgot to sacrifice the treasure. Smart. Can our opponent get their way out of this? I don't see that happening, but you never know. Glittering Frost into the Predator. Into what? What else do they have? Into Concede. All right, awesome. I think we played that game fairly well and navigated our way into a victory. I think this is the matchup where we want Raven form. Immersturm Predator is just so good, and we want to have a way to deal with it. Yeah, so we're gonna bring in the Raven form. Do we want a null for like their Glittering Frost? I don't think so. I think we just want the Raven form. What's the worst card in our deck? Um, might just be one of these 2/3/2s. They don't, or Crush the Weak. Yeah, gotta take out the Crush the Weak. Crush the Weak seemed really bad there. They had a few weak guys, but also a lot of not weak. It's way, way better against aggro. Okay, so bring in the Raven form. Raven form's not good, but if your opponent has really, really strong cards like that you have to deal with, sometimes you got to bring in a Raven form, and we'll submit again. Cyclone Summoner, doing exactly what it wants to do. It's this like old frost man, giants, wizards, and lands. But it does return treasure tokens. I love the interplay of the Magda and the Raider's Carve, and then also just happen to have another dwarf, Fearless Liberator, allowing us to do some sweet things. There's a Miss of Litiara, but I don't think we want that against our opponent. Does our opponent have some sort of transformational sideboard, or maybe they're just taking a little break or something? All right, they found their way back. We have a pretty good hand. I'm gonna keep this. This looks like a turn 2 glimpse into a turn 3 Raider's Carve. Ooh, maybe new plan. Turn 2 Fearless Liberator. Turn 3 create a Fearless Liberator copy, I guess. I do like having a free 2/1. Let's see what our opponent's up to. Alright, they're going to play the Sentinel. We'll offer the trade. We get a free 2/1 out of the deal. Oh, our opponent... they can't use their Hunt the Weak. They have to suspend it or whatever. Okay. Just going to attack here and create a 2/1. It's a little less value, or the Carve hits a little bit harder, but never gonna resist getting a free 2/1. It could be that that's not the right play, actually. Oh, okay. Our opponent decided to sacrifice the Sentinel, which I think is great for us. Now we get to play a 4/4 and then a 5/4, and oh, they're probably just stuck on colors. That's unfortunate for our opponent. We're gonna just beat them down. Gonna play the 5/4 here. Not even worry about like a 4/4 and a glimpse. I think it's just better to get the extra power on the board. Yeah, we just ran over our opponent there. They were lost on colors and lost on the game. Okay, there was round 2. So we'll see you all in the finals for a potential trophy with our blue-red deck. Knock on some wood or something. Round 3. Oh, this is an island away from being a really good hand, but our deck has a high power level. I don't think we can keep that hand. We can keep this hand, and I'm gonna put back the Cinderheart Giant. We do need a giant for our squashes to be good, but the Cinderheart is an expensive boy, so it was our opponent on the aggressive 1-drop deck. All right, this is gonna be a racing situation. We do have the Crush the Weak, which is good. All right, Draugr Thought Thief is not terrible. I don't anticipate our Firewalker getting in there, because I think it'll end up being able to be blocked by this this Raptor. Is our opponent gonna suspend or foretell something on turn 2? Probably. Let's see. They go. Ooh, Immersturm Raider. Okay, that is good against our. Oh. Raven Wing's not looking the best here. If our opponent has a super aggressive deck, they chose not to discard. I don't like our position here. Next turn we get to play the Thought Thief and look at the top of our library, try to find a giant. Our opponent's in the meantime is just gonna beat us down. Run amok. Yep. This is the perils of being against a suit. Okay, so let's look at our deck. Can't afford to put a land in the graveyard, I don't think. Yeah, we're priced into blocking the Immersturm Raider. Our opponent's just coming out guns blazing. These squashes aren't great on 5 mana. So yeah, and I don't think we can just not block. We're just not gonna win that race. Our opponent's deck, we can tell, is aggressive. Looks like they might just kill our Thought Thief. Yeah. And suspend something. Okay. So now, play a land, play a Firewalker, and pass the turn. Next turn, if we draw land, we can squash one of their cards, which I guess is something. But I think our opponent, we really want to draw Crush the Weak. That would be great. I think our play is actually not to block here to try to have another chance at hitting Crush the Weak. We're taking 5 versus 3, and I don't think that we can stave off the attack quickly enough. And our opponent has a Foretold card, so they have 3 cards. They probably don't have any more lands because they chose not to discard with the Raider, although maybe they needed the lands that they had. I don't know. I don't think we're blocking here. Yeah, let's not block. Not blocking again just gives us one more chance at hitting our Crush the Weak, which is like the best card in our deck to hit right now. Okay, so they're gonna... Does that deal 1? I think it just deals 1. Yeah, just deals 1. Wow, they have no creatures of the same type. Alright, we're also far away from activating this. How much does this cost to activate? 2 blue, blue, red, tap. So we would need 2 more lands. We could not attack, block, kill there, take 3. But I think we're just gonna, yeah. So I think our play is just to boast and try to hit Crush the Weak. I mean, it's a low odds play of happening, but I think that's where we're at. So let's hope for a Crush the Weak. Mountain. Okay. All right. GG opponent. Gonna side into a little bit cheaper of stuff if we have it. We're on the play now, so we can be a little bit more aggressive. And also, we don't have much of a sideboard now that I think about it. Raven form is really bad against aggressive decks. Yeah. Oh, I guess Mist of Lit Yara. That seems good. What's bad here? I like the Cinderheart Giant's pretty bad, but we do have 2 Invasion of the Giants. The Raven Wings, yeah, probably not the best for Raven Wings. Although it makes our 3/2s get by. They have 2/1s, so our 3/2s are kind of bad. But we also, I'm sure they have like 3/3s, and our 3/2s block their 3/3s. So I think this is where we're at. Yeah, so now we see how aggressive they are. We just can't keep a slow hand against them. We have a little bit more liberty on the play, but in general, we want to be doing something before turn 3. So we want to have a 2-drop. Magda is great here. I don't imagine our opponent has that much in the way of sideboarding. They're just a pretty streamlined, aggressive deck. So we will see. Yeah, alright. Let's be on the play here. This hand needs 1 more land and then another land. I think this is a mulligan. Alright, this hand's not great either. I think it's a keep though. And put Run Amok back or Squash. Squashes will be good after turn 5. Guess we're putting Run Amok back. We do have a Bergstrider that's active. We just need to rip off a bunch of lands. Glimpse the Cosmos, stuff like that. There's a land, alright. Our Bergstrider will catch us up a little bit if we can cast it on curve, and then we have some squashes. Alright. Ooh, I like the Fearless Liberator. If our opponent can't kill the Liberator, then we can get another 2/1. If we draw a land, that's a great way to get back a little bit of value. So hopefully they can't get anything. This is only if we control a giant. And right now we have a dwarf and a dwarf berserker. Alright, so it looks like we're going to get in for 1 hit at least. Ooh, and we drew a land. That's really good. So now we get to attack. And I guess attack. I think we're fine with either of these trades. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so they'll block like that. Ends up being a good attack, right? Because otherwise we can't block the Starnheim thing anyways. Okay, now if we draw a land, we get to tap down whatever they play and then attack for 6, and then we have 2 squashes after that. I think this is a decent position against an aggro deck, especially on a mulligan and a pretty slow one at that. So whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it's enchanted or equipped, return it to his owner's hand. That's really good. Land? Alright, not a land, but it is a beefy 4-drop, so now we can do that and attack for 6. Start going on the beatdown. They must have some equipment. It also allows us to double squash next turn. I didn't think about that. That's even better. So, okay. What can our... This card is really scary. Whenever another non-token... so it's not this one, so we can just kill this and stop that from happening. Creature tokens that are enchanted... What a weird card. So if they have tokens, then they get +1/+1. If they have non-tokens, if it was enchanted or equipped, return it to its owner's hand. Okay, so all in all, it really just seems like a 2/2 for 2 that can do some interesting things, but in general is not going to be that great. Do they have destroy target tapped creature? That would be a weird card to have in their red-white aggressive deck, but I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibilities. Otherwise, so 1 white. Seems like they're stuck on 4 lands. Although, for an aggressive deck, can't really say it's stuck. I mean, okay, I like Raven Wings. if that's what's going on here, that's really good. They can put it on the Starnheim. Oh, does it? Okay. Creature. How are they? Oh, I forgot. I was like, how are they playing these for so cheap? But the Starnheim Corsair makes artifacts and enchantments cost less. So now their thing gets +2/+0 in haste if they equip it. I don't think they can play a creature in this turn and equip unless it's a 1-drop, but this costs 2 to equip. This doesn't reduce equip spell. Artifact and enchantment spells cost less. Okay. Oof. The Demon Bolt's really good for them. Wow. Oh, and they have a land. Okay, so they have 2 cards left in hand. Oh, Demon Bolt is brutal because now we can't cast the squash, so we're kind of on draw land or bust. If we draw like a 7-drop or something, we're in really bad shape. Alright, so they're going to attack for 6. Really need to draw land. And we don't. Okay, so we're gonna do this. They can just re-equip. Yeah, I think we're on this. We'll just do this now. Here comes the Cosmos. Unfortunate. I guess it cleared that from the top of our deck. Okay, so now they can cast a Raider. They'll discard a land probably. It's gonna be a close one. They're... Oh gosh. Maybe we shouldn't have attacked with the Dwarf Berserker. I kind of thought we were gonna win the race, but I don't think that's the case because now they can... That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down to 4. And then they'll shove a lethal flyer next turn. We can deal... Well, I guess if we draw land, we have 7, 8, 9 exactly. So, the calculation's kind of interesting. To the point where maybe they'll be dissuaded from just... I mean, I think if they just re-equip... Okay, so they're not re-equipping and attacking. Kind of like this. We only go to 6 here. I guess this means they might have another play, though. Oh, and we draw... Okay, so now we just win, right? We can Berg it up. Let's Berg the daddy up. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think there's a 1-mana red spell, so looks like this is where we're at. The Berg Strider carrying us to victory in game 2. We'll Wow, wow, what a game. I think both of us made some misplays, but it ended up working out for us. I'm not sure about our attacks. It's very hard to say. Um, I guess it's probably just best in that case, yeah, to do what we did and play for the Oh, wow. Oh, why did they not wait? I guess I completely forgot about frostbite. But okay. Wow. All right. So, I don't even think we can attack, right? Um Oh, this is okay, let's think about this now. This gives +2/+0, right? So, if we attack with these two, so we tap this, attack with these two, then they can just equip here, and they have 6 in the air. So we can't do that. We could tap the flyer, attack with these two, and then they just have to have any creature. I don't like those odds, right? So if we tap here, then they just re-equip, and that's 6. Okay, so we have to tap the flyer. Can we attack? We can attack with one creature? Yeah, because they can only give one thing flying, so I guess... But that just returns this to their hand, right? If it was equipped or enchanted, return it to its owner's hand. And then they just replay it. So I think we're on no attacks. The next turn we can double squash. Wow. All right. All right. They have a way to deal us 2. I guess we're dead. Okay, so they're going to attack for 4. Wow, and they had the run amok. Crazy. All right, I guess we're dead. Yeah, no way we could have gotten around that or anything. They had the frostbite and the run amok. All right. Thank you all for watching. Still got a 2-1, a few packs. Very close to a 3-0. It was a pretty cool blue-red Giants deck. Yeah, again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you for the next draft where hopefully we can redeem ourselves and get a trophy.